Of course, we all tend to make fun of people who post cheesy quotes all over their social media. But why do we have these quotes? Why do we have these proverbs? More importantly, why do we take these quotes and proverbs and use them as a way to express how we feel about the human condition? Why do these quotes and proverbs exist in the first place? There are quotes that we use today which we can date back to ancient philosophers, and we can be inspired by people who have faced certain kinds of adversities in the past, where they may have spoken certain words that speak true to your heart. So I asked you guys, what are your favorite quotes? And many of you had replied. So I'll be going through a list of certain quotes and proverbs that I think are really cool and that you guys think are really cool, and I will state my take on them. Knowing where I am at the moment, I'll be looking at these proverbs and quotes and relating them to what's going on today, the current affairs, if you will. Your skin is not what divides you from the world, it's what joins you to it. What you see outside you is also you. The things which challenge us in life act as a really good mirror for the things that we need to address within ourselves. When the environment is challenging you in a certain way, if it makes you angry, bitter, or any of those other negative emotions which you may have a negative reaction to, it's important to ask yourself, why is it challenging me like this, and what can I learn from it? At the end of the day, it all comes down to how you respond to things. You cannot look outside of yourself and try to change the world. It all must come down to how you correct things within yourself. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The way that I interpret this one is that you can overtly say something, but if your actions don't meet your words, then you really have no ground to stand on. It's like that Native American proverb. Wait, how does it go again? And this is from memory. It goes, because I remember it being on my toilet wall when I was a kid. It's better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand. Something I read when I was on the loo. Those who think they know what's best for others are often the ones who inflict the most harm. My question is, how do you know what's good for others? And is it your right to place that upon other people, to force that upon other people? We've seen throughout human history that those who claim to know what's best for other people and those who enforce it through authoritarian and tyrannical means obviously are people and establishments who we condemn in 2022, or do we? Soviet Russia came up in my last video, and I mentioned how they would plant plants very close together as they had this theory that plants practice communism. The idea that human beings, plants and animals alike, can live under this idea of a utopia through means of communism. And obviously millions of people and plants died as a result. If you want peace, don't talk to your friends, you talk to your enemies. This one is so cool, and probably one of my favorites. Hate is not the opposite of love. Fear is the opposite of love, and fear is created by being ignorant to things. When you have no understanding and no bridge to understanding, then you're going to create ignorance, which then creates fear. The idea is that when you talk to your enemy, you begin to understand them. You begin to build a bridge. That understanding therefore depletes any kind of ignorance that you may have and that they may have towards you. It comes from that place of stripping back the ego, that place of stillness, where you listen to understand, where you find points where you can relate and therefore build those bridges. Speaking of the ego, this next one comes from Grandfather Whitebear, who was taught this value from his uncle Spotted Snow. You are no better or worse than anyone else because we all put our pants on one leg at a time. Are we really all that much different from our enemies or those whom we don't understand? We can find so many more things that we can relate to rather than what makes us different. Once we find the relationship between each other through these common factors that we share, it of course acts in a way that builds those bridges and where we can understand one another. Even though we're all different, we all have the same intrinsic value. We all love, we all fear, we all have these aspects which make us human. And that is so important as we go forward trying to mend different parts of humanity that just aren't really working for us. I have learned that the point of life's walk is not where or how far I move my feet, but how I am moved in my heart. This one reflects on our relationship with others. How we treat other people is a reflection on how our character is. What are we really achieving in life when we cut ourselves off from understanding one another? It tends to be more of a reflection on that person and what they need to address within themselves if they have no idea how to relate to the world, if they have no clue on how to exercise compassion. We all put our pants on one leg at a time, of course. The secret to happiness is freedom. And the secret to freedom is courage. We create our own cages. It's like how Bob Marley said, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. No one but ourselves can free our minds. Facing certain fears in our life doesn't mean that we then become less fearful of that thing, but it means that we become more courageous to face said fears. The courage is liberating because it means that we don't let the outside environment control how we react. Anyway, you guys, I don't want to keep you forever, but I want to know what kinds of quotes or proverbs or even any kind of influence in your life, how has that touched your heart? What is that for you? Going forward, now that Grandfather Whitebear lives up in Auckland, I can start some more podcasts with him. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things that he's personally learnt through what his elders had taught him, and also his experiences as an airborne vet, without going into great depth, of course. But from my understanding, Bear has lived a life that I'm never going to experience. And I think it's really important to seek wisdom and to open up your worldview to those who have had different experiences. I hope you stick around for those podcasts that will hopefully be coming up very soon. My life has become a lot more hectic. I'm busy working in the garden centre. I'm busy with my horse. I'm busy with my beehive, with my kids. I can't say whether I will have regular uploads per se, but I'm really wanting to do some cool things with my channel this year. And of course now, if you haven't figured it out, I'm sure you guys know where I stand on things, if you know what I mean. If you disagree with it, that's great. Honestly, I'm not telling you what to believe. I don't intend on trying to change your mind about things. At the same time, there are certain things I feel that I need to speak on. Anyway, you guys, I hope you have a good day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys all again for the next video. Bye!